Here's exactly what I would do. Check it out.
Yeah, that's right. Feeling the vibe. Panthers doing their thing, boys.
Playoff time.
Playoff time.
In the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got a special edition here. Playoff edition.
Yes.
Thought we'd switch it up a little bit for y'all. Little Carolina Mike, 150,000. Yeah. We said we wouldn't get too excited when the Panthers did their thing, but we lied.
First time in the playoffs since 2017. So,
Yep.
Yeah, man.
So we're back. That's kind of where the excitement kind of ends. We're going to start the show kind of on a bad note for some people. We thought it kind of fitting with the coaching carousel. That's probably been one of the biggest topics in the barbershop.
Yeah. It's been all over the sports channels everywhere. All the firings.
Yeah. One thing we did notice, a bunch of guys mentioned that this seemed like a lot of firings. Actually, this is right on pace. They usually fire between 5 and 9 every year. And then apparently every 4 years they do this big purge. But who knows? We think a lot of the coaches were somewhat deserving. We won't get into Daboll and Callahan too much because they got fired earlier in the season. We did touch on that a little bit. First one we're going to talk about is Kevin Stefanski, 2-time Coach of the Year. Had all the talent in the world on defense. Cody really brought up the offense has been struggling. They've got to do something. What do you think? First off, do you think it was the right move to fire him? And secondly, what do you think got that wheel turning there?
Yes, I do think it was the right move for Cleveland and also Kevin too. I think it's good for both parties. But yes, Kevin was known as being an offensive coordinator. Remember, he was an offensive coordinator in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins. We really had the offense rolling, and then, like I said, it's just you gotta be able to have that guy, that quarterback. Now, I understand that he really wasn't the guy that pulled the plug on Deshaun Watson. That was kind of the owner that hey, he's the one that's writing the check, but I think they've had like 12, 13 quarterbacks under his regime.
Yeah.
And you can't find one guy. You're the offensive guy, and you can't find that guy. And so that's where I think that's the reason that they fired him.
Yeah, they do have an inept owner there, so I won't blame all of it on Stefanski. There was that rumor that came out about Shedeur not getting any reps with the first team. So I think that was the leading candidate there. I think he finds a job right away, and I think it's probably a good move for Cleveland. Moving on, this one was a little bit of a surprise to some people, not so much for myself, but Morris getting fired from Atlanta. Obviously, the GM got fired, which really needed to happen. I always think about that video of him trying to explain that Michael Penix draft pick to Arthur Blank, and that was kind of rough. Did you were kind of thinking Morris maybe one more year, or do you think it was time to go?
I was thinking the way they got on a winning streak at the end of the year, and you also had your two biggest players in Drake London and Bijan Robinson come out and said that they wanted him back. And then you fired him, and you didn't give it a day till what they call Black Monday.
Right.
You fired him right after the press conference, right after he was like, "Yeah, this is a good win," and then boom, you're gone. And so I thought that was a little bit egregious on my part, but I the way they were playing at the end of the year, in some people's opinions, they were the best team in the NFC South at the end of the year. So,
I would agree with that.
Like I said, they were playing really well. And they beat the Rams team that is in the playoffs right now. Mm-hmm. And so I was a little shocked by that.
Yeah, the only reason why I won't say that I'm shocked, I'll give a little plug to the documentary, but the Tampa Bay documentary came out, Raise the Flags. It's pretty good, but they did kind of document Raheem Morris's time there. and they didn't have anything negative to say about the X's and O's and that kind of stuff, but they did say that he ran a very easy kind of show there, and I think that may have shown there in Atlanta. So moving on there, I think they've got a ton of talent. We'll see. I don't think Morris is going to get another shot, maybe as a D coordinator though. Pete Carroll, Cody and I were under the belief that he was just kind of a filler anyway. That culture was not great there. No surprise with Pete Carroll.
None at all.
They got to get a culture guy in there. I don't blame them for going that route, but Carroll's mind is elsewhere. Moving on to the NFC West with Jonathan Gannon, he definitely needed to go. He just doesn't have any swag or whatever, but the team showed some heart there at the end, and they've got some skill players. Gannon had to go, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're in the NFC West, which is, we've seen Seahawks, Rams, 49ers all have more than 12 wins, if not right at 12 wins this year. And you're at the bottom of the totem pole, and you're also a defensive guy who was brought in because you were the defensive coordinator of Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, and you couldn't stop those. No. You couldn't stop McVay or any.
And your quarterback sets the record for most passing attempts in a season. That doesn't match with a defensive
that's right.
coach.
That's right. If your quarterback is throwing that many times, it's because he's trying to catch up from your defense giving up so many points.
Exactly.
So that's why.
Yeah, they do have some talent over there. They got to get rid of Kyler Murray more than likely, so no surprise on that one. A little bit of surprise to some people was the Harbaugh firing. That was last night. Yeah.
Yesterday.
You don't know, we're recording this on a Wednesday evening, but whether it's merited or not, what's going to come about this situation with Harbaugh? It's probably it's like a three-way good move,
yeah,
right?
We've talked about it in the shop, and this is the best thing for both parties. It's time for a change. They haven't been to the Super Bowl since the Joe Flacco days. Lamar's won 2 MVPs under his reign and has not been to the Super Bowl at all. And so when you have that much talent and that many Pro Bowlers on a roster and you can't make it to the Super Bowl, something has to change. Not saying he's a bad coach at all. He's a great coach. He's going to get a job very soon, and he's going to be very successful at his next job. And maybe the Baltimore Ravens are going to be successful with the next coach. But this has had to happen. And we might see some change in Pittsburgh too if a win-loss happens in the playoffs. Who knows? But we knew that most likely the way they lost that game, the way they didn't play good. They started out what 0-6 or something. What did they start? I mean, like I said, 0-6, and so you can't have that type of start. And so I think it's a good change for both parties.
Yeah, totally agree. Or 1-5. Started 1-5.
Okay, 1-5.
1-5. Yeah. No, totally agree. We reference it here with Andy Reid.
Yes.
He went to 3 straight NFC Championship games. They still, wanted to move on from him. He'll get another job, and Baltimore will hire probably one of these coaches that we already mentioned, and they'll be fine for it. But too many losses in games that you were favored in big games, and I think that finally caught up with Harbaugh. That's the coaching carousel there. Like I said, it's common to have that many. I think 6 or 7. So don't look too much into that. We're going to dive right into the games.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's right. And
this is the fun part, Wes.
Cody and I were on to something. Let us know if we're on. Is this the best stretch of football ever? We've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all playoff games in a row. That's pretty cool. We're going to start on Saturday at 4:30. We've got LA traveling east to play our Carolina Panthers, 10.5-point underdogs, and a 46.5-point spread on that. We do give Carolina a chance, unlike the talking heads at ESPN and everything. It started to piss me off a little bit.
Oh, it's been brutal.
They forget we beat them a month ago, but we're not saying we're picking them to win. We're actually picking the Rams to win. But one thing that I will say, I'll let Cody touch on it, I think Canales opens the playbook up a little bit. I know that stupid flea flicker didn't work, but that was just kind of to show you that he's going to switch things up in the playoffs. And I'd like to see them be a little bit risky here. Definitely Bryce's best season, but they've got a tough road. So what do you think, Cody?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, everybody else is giving us a 0% chance, which I've never seen. I mean, we're a playoff team, and people are literally talking bad about the Panthers, which is crazy. And a team that we already beat. It'd be different if the first meeting the Rams beat us 100-0. Then I would completely understand. But when you beat them and you're still getting this type of disrespect, I've never seen anything like it. If the Panthers win this game, it's like Wes said, it is gonna be Bryce Young playing good, running the football very well with Chuba and Rico, and like I said, opening up that playbook where hopefully we don't get a foot of rain like we did last week against Tampa.
That was worst case scenario for us.
Where it hurts your whole offense. You can't move. Everybody's walking in puddles and everything like that. Hopefully the weather is good, and hopefully we can get the offense going. And on the defensive side, you got to get pressure on Matthew Stafford. You don't have to worry about Baker running around and you can't catch him, or like a Lamar Jackson.
That's a good point.
You're going to be able to pin your ears back and get to him. Okay, of course, you got to watch out for Puka and Devontae Adams. They're going to do their thing. But you got to get pressure. You got to send blitz. You got to get pressure. You can't get no deep ball to Puka, no deep ball to Devontae. You got to get pressure on Matthew Stafford. He is not going to roll out and do this type of magical run around like Baker did last week.
Yep, totally agree. And, Panthers, can stop the run well also. So there's our spiel. That being said, we do like the Rams in this situation, but, I think if we can get Bryce 250 yards and a couple of touchdowns, who knows? All right, moving on to the next game, going to be played primetime, 8 o'clock on Prime Video. Yay. Green Bay traveling to Chicago here. Green Bay, kind of an underwhelming season. Chicago, definitely the opposite there. Was really hoping that Caleb got another 60 yards to get to 4,000, but became the all-time passing leader. Bears are actually underdogs in this game. With Jacobs being healthy and Love coming back. But we've got a little not so fast, as Cody would like to say.
Mm-hmm.
We just like Chicago and Green Bay. This is kind of one of those, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And they haven't, other than the first 2 games of the season, they really haven't impressed me at all. And they've floundered in a couple of games that they needed. So I'm going Chicago here, contrary to what Vegas says. You're on board, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Underdog, home, playoff team.
Check.
I love the sound of that.
Yep.
I love when that road team, and this, of course, this is, again, we've said it when they played the other 2 times in the podcast, this is one of the biggest rivalries in the NFL.
Yeah.
Same thing with, Steelers and Ravens that we saw last Sunday night. This is one of the biggest rivalries, a playoff game. It can't get no bigger than this. That place is going to be a hornet's nest for the Packers. And so I really like the Bears here. Of course, it's going to be freezing cold like always in Chicago. But I like the way Chicago, yes, they did lose to Detroit in their last game because Detroit, they were going to go all out for it. But Green Bay is on a 4-game losing streak. It's hard to pick yourself off the mat when you've been down like that and everybody's been hurt and nobody's got really any emotion into it. That's why I like Chicago.
Yep, same here. And like Cody said, cold game. Yes, Josh Jacobs is the best running back in this game, but who's probably got the best run game? And I got to go right now with Chicago with that little pair that they got. So we're liking Chicago there, 45.5 point over under. That could go under. Nice, good January game in Chicago. All right, here's where it starts to get really fun. We got 3 games on Sunday, starting with the CBS game at 1 o'clock. Got the Buffalo Bills stampeding south to play the red-hot Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor's got his grill in. They got the Duval thing going on. everybody wants to see Buffalo get there because their window's closing. And I personally think that the way that Jacksonville's run defense has been playing, they're going to be able to shut Cook down, which really, really makes Josh Allen one-dimensional in this game. Or not one-dimensional, but makes them one-dimensional and having to rely strictly on Josh Allen. So one thing Cody brought up, about the refs. The refs have sucked this year. We think that some of those calls that used to go against Buffalo in the Kansas City games, we could see it here. There's another thing that may scare you too, maybe with the Bills having all this experience compared to the Jaguars, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, Trevor Lawrence has a little bit of experience in the playoffs. He did get the one crazy comeback win
against four interception.
Against the Chargers.
Yep.
But yes, Buffalo definitely has the experience in this contest. But you're talking about, like I said, we're talking about a red-hot Jacksonville team that has been looking like juggernauts out there. And now, I want to say this. I think this is a 50-50 game in my book. Don't touch this game. If you're going to touch it, maybe touch the over, because I think there might be a lot of points. But this is a game that I do not touch at all with no money.
Oh yeah, we had to think about this.
Yeah, this is a tough game. This is 50-50 in my book. I think when I'm 50-50, I think about the hottest team going into it, and then I think about home field. And so I add the hottest team plus home field equals a W in my mind.
Yep.
That's why I lean.
Buffalo's had a couple more bad games. Now, I will kind of disagree with Cody on this. I don't know if he had the over-under in front of him, but it is 51.5. It's playoff time. I like the under in that. We're not giving too many betting favorites in this. We're just trying to give analysis on the games. But
still, no money. Don't touch any money.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Don't touch any of it.
The under kind of appeals to me a little bit more than the over, because I think they're going to, kind of butt heads a little bit. Speaking of butting heads, Cody and I butted heads on this one here. 49ers at Eagles. This will be the last time that I pick the Eagles if they lose, all right, for the rest of my life. I was talking to a customer just today, actually. If you take and you line up, and grade every player, I think they've got the best roster. It's just they're so dysfunctional. Right now, Vegas has them favored by 4.5. I will say that played a big part in me picking Philadelphia here. I have to think Saquon has to get started here. And San Francisco did scare me with that 3-point output, even though they were averaging like 40 before. Cody is going to tell you why that is complete bull.
Well, watching the Seahawks versus the 49ers last Saturday night, and we saw that complete amazing shutdown that the Seahawks had on the 49ers offense. I thought them getting beat at home when the 1 seed was on the line was the biggest piece of humble pie for Kyle Shanahan, for Brock Purdy, for Christian McCaffrey. And you also had guys like George Kittle, and did George Kittle play? I'm not sure, but I know Trent Williams was out.
Yeah.
Their all-star left tackle. I just think that when those guys got punched in the mouth and they lost that 1 seed, I think it's going to refuel them. And they're going to pull off the upset in my mind. I still don't trust this Philly offense. I don't trust it at all one bit. I haven't trusted one bit this year. I picked Philly a couple weeks ago when they beat Buffalo, and they beat Buffalo 13-12.
Barely.
You scored 13 points in this game.
Night.
You go. Luckily, you're at home, so you can hop in your own car. You don't have to take a plane. It's going to be a short drive home.
Yep.
So that's what I'm going off of. That's why I like the 49ers here.
Yep. Again, don't disagree with much of what he says there. It's really just the home factor and the ceiling. I think Philadelphia's ceiling is just a little bit higher than San Francisco's. If San Francisco was at home with Bosa and Warner, it'd be a no-brainer for me. So that was the one we were different on. This one was probably the easiest game for Cody and I, even though it looks like Vegas thinks it's going to be a little bit closer. I'm talking about the NBC 8 o'clock game between the Chargers and New England. Chargers kind of stumbling just a little bit. The offense scares me at times. New England currently 3.5-point favorites. I thought it would be a little bit higher, 46.5-point over/under. I like New England here. They're rolling. The Chargers they want to play that run game and defense, and they just don't have both of them cued right away. What do you think, Cody?
No, I totally agree. This game right here reminds me of the old, like when old Phillip Rivers would go into like if when they would go play Tom Brady, and it's like, oh, there's no chance for them. Not saying there's no chance for them at all, but Patriots playoff time. Drake May is, probably besides Trevor Lawrence, is the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now. It's just, this offense is going to be rolling. And what I loved about the Patriots last game, now they were playing the Dolphins, so let's, put that.
Yeah, but
Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson had 5 touchdowns together, like all together.
Yeah.
When you have a two-headed monster running back duo playing as well, and they're going into the playoffs like that, music to my ears, Patriots.
Yeah. Well, what did Drake make? Did he miss 2 passes last week? I think that's what it was. Drake May, or 14 for 18, so he missed 4 passes. Sorry. And then, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Jets game. He went 19 of 21 for 5 touchdowns. Is that good? You got more touchdowns than incompletions. So that's really why we're going. We've been really big on Drake May from the get-go. If you want to look at one of our previous podcasts, and we have been saying it in the barbershop forever, we like the Patriots there. Won't get into it too much. Another good cold night game, though, in January. So keep that in mind. Speaking of cold night games, we're going to move to Monday night, the finale. It's on ESPN. We've got Houston going into Pittsburgh. Going to be about 25 degrees there. Houston plays in a dome, and obviously Houston is Houston. I have been really big on Houston, and if I didn't see the way that Pittsburgh reacted last week after that win, I probably would have went Houston. I just got this feeling about Pittsburgh in this game. I think they're going to get pressure on Stroud and kind of fumble them a little bit, and I think they're already thinking that Houston's going to put pressure on them. They're probably putting in this game plan with some quick passes and stuff like that. But do you think the 41-year-old gets it done, Cody, or you leaning on the youth?
I am going Pittsburgh right here. Me and Wes were talking about this in a little bit of the preview about, Houston, one of the best defenses in the league right now. By far, they're on a roll. They're on a win streak. They're one of the hottest teams in the league right now. And Pittsburgh has kind of, if a guy makes a field goal, they're not here right now, so they kind of have backed their way into it, as some people would say. And I just love the way they're playing with each other right now. They actually are just thriving and coming together at the right time. And I think about that game that Pittsburgh went into Detroit, and people, I think I picked Detroit. I think Weston picked Detroit in that game. Mm-hmm. Everybody was picking Detroit because we thought Pittsburgh was doing this, and they went right into Detroit, ran it down their throat. Defense played really good, was all over Jared Goff. And now, like I said, I know it came down to some freak plays, but that was a huge win. And I kind of see the same thing right here and I just mentioned it with the Bears, underdog plus home field in my book equals win. And this is just screaming to me. Pittsburgh wins this game. Aaron Rodgers will be able to see. I don't know if you saw it, but Aaron Rodgers came out and also that Calvin Austin were talking about. They were setting up that hitch and go on the cornerback in the fourth quarter. and sometimes when you see it, when you play the game and you've been seeing it for a while, and the defense has tendencies of like, hey, we're pressing, we're running cover 3, we're playing man, we're gonna play man over here, we're gonna play cover 6 over here. Whenever they saw that DB pressing down and knew that he was the main guy on that cover 3, he bit on that hitch, and that's when he fell down and Calvin Austin was wide open. Plays like that, it comes from experience. It doesn't come from, a great offense coordinator. And it comes from, hey, we're going to be able to do this at the right time. We just got to wait for the right time and the right time of the game to just, hey, boom, boom, and it's touchdown.
Rodgers is going to be the offensive coordinator in this game.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt.
I'm not kidding.
No doubt.
I think they finally figured it out, definitely. There was one more thing that Cody brought up. I'll let him talk about it. That really, it kind of convinced me. I was on the fence more than Cody was on this. He definitely was hammering Pittsburgh, and that has to do with Tomlin's record.
Yes.
In these situations.
Yes, I heard today that Tomlin is undefeated on Monday night games
at home.
At home, yep. And so I like I said, I actually think also that the firing talk that they had earlier in the season, like toward the middle to end of the season.
Yeah.
That
he's got some bravado.
I mean, did you see him celebrate? He was like, he was like, in the camera. He was like dancing in the camera, and it's like I've never seen that from Mike Tomlin. I've never seen that type of emotion from Mike Tomlin. Like he's like passionate and he's like ready to go. And I think, like I said, I think I would feel a little bit different if it was in Houston.
Yeah.
But a cold night. They just had it against Baltimore last Sunday night, and those terrible towels that place is going to be going crazy. It's going to be a hornet's nest. It's going to be loud. I also mentioned the West earlier. Cameron Hayward. I know he's an old defensive tackle right now.
He wasn't old last week.
Man, he is going to throw. He's been last Sunday. He threw those guys from Baltimore, just moving them out of the way. T.J. Watt looked like good. T.J. Watt, he looked like he recovered really well from having that lung surgery and everything like that, which was really scary. But he looked really good. He still got Alex Highsmith, local from Wilmington. Right. So I really, like I said, it's screaming to me. Yep. Pittsburgh right here.
Yep, definitely like it. They are underdogs in this situation, but I just like to see the way that they rallied behind Rodgers, and you can't not go with Tomlin after he hits you with if my aunt had a pecker, she'd be my uncle. So that's, if you're from the South, you've heard that a million times. So we love that here. Another thing we love is we love you guys and we appreciate all the support. We do have some more big things coming along. As Cody mentioned, we had the YouTube page, so it's been on that. But
make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, we really need you on this one here, okay? If you can just kind of get the ball rolling. So we've got some new equipment, some new studio adjustments and stuff like that we're really getting excited about. So again, keep the likes and subscribes coming, and all the comments that you have. Cody, you want to send them away with anything?
Enjoy the games. This is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun. Starting with college football tomorrow night. It's just going to be a great, fun weekend. Really enjoy the games, and like I said,
let us know if we're right on the 5 best days of football.
Yeah, right? That's right. Exactly
Cody
right.
Cody actually pronounced that a day or two ago. So let us know how we are on that. Again, thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you next week.